The playoffs are here, and you can predict the action all the way to the finals with FanDuel Predicts. Predict the spread, the total points, and even the game-winning moments that make the playoffs. Sign up and get a $25 bonus with FanDuel Predicts.
Offered by FanDuel Prediction Markets, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant. 18-plus bonus is non-withdrawable and expires 7 days after receipt. Trading derivatives involves significant risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Manage your activity with their consumer protection tools. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/predicts/bonus-offer-terms.
In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
All right, this is me, the butt nut, the piano tuning guy. Hello. Hey, imagine that. Jill Biden still lying about the lie. The Bidens, bad people, very, very bad people. I got a lot of important people talking about my massive, explosive piece on the Bill Stevenson matter. Bill Stevenson used to be married to Jill Biden. Jill Biden had an affair on him. Bill Stevenson embarrassed Joe in divorce court, basically humiliated him. Joe Biden got revenge on him by having him locked up over pennies, made some stupid little check that got lost in the mail, a federal case, literally a federal case, made Bill Stevenson, my friend, a convicted felon. They were harassing him for many years. And then finally, Bill had enough. And he stepped forward. He started telling the truth about the Bidens, and then he's in jail on murder charges. I don't believe it. I think it's corrupt through and through. These people are small-time people. That's what you got to remember about the Bidens. Small-time people. They think we don't remember. They think we're not going to remember. For instance, here's Jill Biden. She comes out in public. She's in the news right now. It's perfect timing, actually, for my big piece that I did kind of in conjunction with Garrett Ziegler for the Marco Polo Project. We got the goods on this situation. You heard Jill, right? Oh, yeah, Joe, I thought he was dying during the debate. Now, granted, so did I. But she didn't say that back then. In fact, this is what she said right after the debate. You know, the 2024 debate where Joe Biden was so bad that he had to quit the race like 5 days later. You know, they chased him out of the race. He was it was over, done. Now, a lot of people, by the way, think that might have been a setup. They knew that Joe was going to be bad, so they put him out there so he would be bad. I was one of the people wondering about that even before the debate. So here we go. Jill Biden. Oh, yeah, so impressed with Joe. Right after the debate, they're on stage. They go to Applebee's. They go to the Waffle Shop. They're on a victory tour, and they find friendly crowds to cheer them. The worst debate in presidential history, and Jill Biden stands there. I can't say she stood there with a straight face because she starts to, distort herself and yell and scream and all kinds of stuff. Cut 9, please. Cut 9. This is...
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the facts. And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do?
Lied! And she had this really weird look on her face. Really, really weird. And then let me cut to Bill Stevenson, because Bill called it right there, right then and there. Bill Stevenson, who was married to Jill, at this point he had endorsed President Trump. He had told the truth about how they really met, how Joe and Jill actually met, and that the whole damn thing was a lie. Here's Bill Stevenson saying, really, when you think about it, and in retrospect, there's great wisdom here from my friend Bill Stevenson. Cut 5, if you don't mind. Cut 5.
When I saw her yell on the stage that a president that I love, Donald J. Trump, I could not stand by any longer when she said he's a liar. It drove me crazy. I can't stand it anymore. Maybe I am taking the gloves off. I don't know. But Greg, it's unfair. I don't understand her. I don't understand that she does not see that her husband, the president of the United States, is struggling. She's got to do something about this and realize that this is not any good for anybody, and especially the country.
Especially the country. But no, she was pushing, and she hates everybody who tried to get Joe out of the race. But now listen to what she's saying. She has a book coming out, I think, on Tuesday. And this is what she told CBS News. There's only a clip of it available right now. I wonder if she's going to tell the whole story here. Ultimately, will they try to say, hey, why did you say this? Why are you saying this when you said that, what you just heard? This is CBS this Sunday morning. Cut 8, please. Cut 8, Jill Biden.
Were you horrified as you saw it unfold?
I wasn't horrified, I was frightened because I had never, ever seen Joe like that before or since. Never.
Or since?
Yes, or
You've
since.
never seen him like
never.
that?
No.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
So why did you pretend it didn't happen? What's really going on here? And she said, oh, I'd never seen him like that. I'd seen him like that dozens of times. I started talking about he was falling down all over himself, tripping, falling off bicycles, forgetting where he was, falling asleep. It's a disaster. It's a walking disaster. Finally, we had witnesses. And usually these things, they take a little soundbite or they ignore it. I remember I had one of the top political reporters in the world in this studio the day that Joe Biden took 3 splats on his face getting onto Air Force One, and they refused to acknowledge it. They just wouldn't say anything about it. I don't know what the hell got into people, but suddenly, I don't know, something weird, something very, very strange. I want to go through a couple of highlights with Bill Stevenson. And now, by the way, this is how he got himself into trouble, in a way, right? Joe and Jill in the summer of 2020 put out this bogus story about how they really met. Joe Biden and Jill Biden. All fake news, but they all ate it up because it was cute. Cut 1. Please.
When I met Jill, I knew. My brother said, there's this woman, you'll really like her, Joe. So I gave her a call, and she had a date that night.
You said, do you think you could break your date?
Oh, that's right. And what'd you do?
Well, I called and told the guy that I had a friend in from out of town and went out with Joe.
She lied to the guy, by the way. Okay, whoever that was. And the whole story is a lie. Because she was married to my friend Bill Stevenson, all right, when she was getting hot and heavy with Joe Biden, the hotshot senator. Here he is telling that story in 2020. And this is where I really realized that Bill Stevenson was a special guy. When I saw this report in the summer of 2020, cut 2.
So you were friends with Joe Biden?
Oh, yeah. Right before the election in 72, Jill, Joe, Nelia, and I were in his kitchen. How do you forget that?
Stevenson says his first inkling something was up came when Jill refused to go with him to meet Bruce Springsteen, who was booked to appear at the Stone Balloon.
He said, Joe asked me to keep an eye on the boys. And I just thought to the back of my mind,
That's a good reaction. You want to, he's doing all these chores, these odd jobs for Joe and the boys. What happened next? Cut 3. Please.
One day, he says a man came into his bar and asked him to pay damages for a fender bender that involved Jill.
he looks at me and he says, oh, she wasn't driving. I said, her beloved Corvette, she wasn't driving it? He goes, Senator Biden was driving it. And I went, what?
What? Yeah, I'm sorry that happened. And he found out and he got divorced. And the divorce went a little bit sideways. The divorce went very, very much sideways. And Bill told me there was another aspect to this story. So I started talking about Bill. Whenever Jill Biden or Joe Biden came up, I would say, they screwed over all-round great guy Bill Stevenson. And he called the station and left a message for me, and I called him back. I'm like, is this Bill Stevenson? Yeah. Oh, it's Greg Kelly. Oh, Greg. Yeah. And he knew what I had been doing on air, and he liked it. And he said, look, there's more to this story. And here he is kind of telling the story of the story. Cut 4, if you don't mind. Cut 4.
It's hard to believe what they're doing to President Trump right now. And that's why I came to you and you listened to my story. He is doing Joe Biden, our president, right? He lives 2 miles from me. Today, I'm 2 miles from the courtroom where the Hunter deal fell apart. And he is doing the exact same thing. I couldn't stand it anymore. I needed somebody just to listen to me, to tell them what happened to me because I got on the wrong side of the Biden family.
Yeah. What happened to him? And what happened to him? He was indicted for payroll taxes being submitted 8 days late. They were due March 31st. By April 8th, they hadn't been paid. And by April 8th, the afternoon of 1982, Bill Stevenson and his brother George were arrested. Arrested in federal court. U.S. attorney, the whole thing. Arrested. Federal charges. 8 days late. They were waiting. And then they swooped in. Boy, oh boy, did they swoop in. Now, a lot of things happened there. And ultimately, Bill was like, you know what? Screw it. I've done just fine. That brought me to where I am today with my amazing wife, Linda. And I met Linda, and there's no doubt in my mind he loved that woman. And I do not believe he ever intended to harm her. And if I had to bet on his innocence with my money, I would. Cut 6, please. Cut 6.
Everybody around me knows that it has unbelievably for me with Linda, my stepdaughter, Christina, and my family. It's been to be the best thing that ever happened to me, Greg.
Well, how about that one? Really nice. I believe him. So the wife turns up dead in the end of December, Bill's wife, Linda. And nobody knows why. There's no report on the autopsy. You know, she wasn't shot. She wasn't stabbed. She wasn't strangled. You can tell those things right away. So what happened? I don't know. They haven't told us. I know that she was dead on December 28th, and they arrested Bill like February 3rd or something like that. That's a lot of time. I guess they investigated, or did they try to get a story straight, or what the hell happened? I don't know, but now we're in a position, a very oddball position, where the guy you're about to hear, so they arrest him and they bring him into court. And he's before somebody, not a full judge, but a commissioner by the name of Lynn Parker. And she is presiding over his bail hearing, which is totally bizarre. They set it at $2 million, which is kind of a ludicrously high figure. But they do it. And this is the husband of the judge who oversaw the first part of Bill's case, former U.S. Attorney for Delaware, former Democrat candidate for the United States Senate from Delaware, former Attorney General for the state of Delaware. As Joe Biden put it, this man is a friend and a partner in law enforcement with me, Joe Biden. This guy is a legal institution there, and he's such a lefty. Right, here he is. At this point, I found this moment. He's the sitting U.S. Attorney for Delaware, and he's ragging on the New York Post. This is in 2015. New York Post is probably one of the greatest papers in the country, the oldest paper. They did have the guts to break the Hunter Biden laptop thing. This guy just, this is even before that. Listen to what he says. As a sitting U.S. attorney, you should not say things of this nature, but he did. Cut 7, please. Cut 7. Charles Oberle, U.S. Attorney for Delaware, 2015.
I read every day the New York Post. I read the New York Times. I read their journal. And the reason I read the New York Post is because it's nothing more, in my opinion, than a hate rag. Every single day, there's never a good word about Muslims. There's never a good word about the president. But you see that, and papers like that have circulations of millions. And when you listen to the radio and the talk shows and these page groups that come out, it's no wonder our young people grow up and want to reach out and do these things.
Whoa. So the New York Post is a hate rag, and it inspires people to commit hate crimes. That's not a level-headed guy. That's not a guy who should be the U.S. attorney, but he was, and that's how things roll. And a guy just like him was unleashed to get my friend Bill Stevenson. He's sitting in jail right now. Now his defense attorney is a weirdo. His name is Flockersy, Ross Flockersy. The name is weird, to be honest. He's married to a woman who is the chief of staff to the left-wing governor of Delaware, a guy named Matt Meyer, who was working for Joe Biden when he was a teenager, all the way back in 1988. That's how incestuous and weird this state of Delaware is. I don't think my friend can get a fair shake. And I want to tell you something else about this lawyer. I reached out right after Bill was arrested because I couldn't get a hold of Bill. I reached out to the lawyer. I introduced myself. I said, I'm really worried about Bill. I'm really worried that this is Biden vengeance. I know people who want to help. What can we do? What's going on? 3 weeks later, this son of a bitch finally gets back to me with the weirdest, legalistic, don't call us, we'll call you kind of message. And I tell you, when I first called, because I called first and I surprised them. I got this deputy lawyer named Olivia. And you know what she did when I introduced myself? She started laughing at me. I knew you'd be calling. Well, I'm calling because of the charges. Oh, I know. Well, how's Bill? Oh, Bill? Oh, what do you mean, how's Bill? Well, how is he? He's fine. Oh, my God, you people are weird. You people are or corrupt, or both. All right, we're not done. And a lot of important people are tuning in. We appreciate it. Be right back.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. Sometimes I feel very dirty and weird when I'm looking at the New York Post and, quite frankly, every other newspaper in the country pretty much. That is, they just can't write enough of these stories of teachers hooking up with students. It's an epidemic. It's weird. I asked AI for its impression on all this stuff, and they say, no, it's not happening more. It's just reported more. And I don't believe that. I believe that the porno that's everywhere, the porno has inspired people to have these thoughts who would not have had these thoughts initially on their own, right? Apparently one of the most popular genres online, if you look it up, and there's data that suggests this, the most popular categories of the porno, what do you call it? The stepmother and the stepson or stepdaughter, the teacher and the student, right? 18 and up, right? In the fantasy, at least the whatever. You know what I'm getting at. Stuff is encouraged. This stuff is encouraged by big tech, big porn, and it's had a trickle down effect. And now we have people. It's just inconceivable that we would have had this a couple of decades ago. You mean, I bet twice in a century, quite frankly, maybe 3 times. Well, then again, you do hear those stories about I don't know. Something is unusual about this moment. And I think it's the porno. And I also think it's the texting and the DMing, right? You can DM pretty much anybody. And, you have this strange sense of intimacy and I don't know what the hell it is, but there's something going on there, and it's wrong, and it's highly enticing, and the proof is right here, all over the place. They can't stop writing these stories. Now, is it because, well, part of the reasons why they don't stop writing the stories is because they know, they've done the research, that people like reading these stories, right? And that's another thing, right? Why do you why do people like true crime? I don't know. There's a bloodlust. There's a lust. There's something a little bit twisted about people. We don't have to give in, I remember hearing somebody says, well, you don't have to give in to that impulse. I'm like, gee, that thought never occurred to me. This is years and years and years ago. Like, you don't have to give in. It's like, yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah. I could just go home and watch a television show. I could just go home and eat a bowl of cereal. So somebody once gave me that advice. If you're ever in a position where you're tempted to do something, and it's not exactly what you probably should be doing, you're better off going home and eating a bowl of cereal, which I got to admit sounds pretty damn nice. Okay, it's rare that I treat myself to a bowl of cereal. It's rare that I treat myself to a half box of Fruity Pebbles, which is my go-to cereal of choice. Granted, I don't have it very often because it's not part of a nutritious breakfast. It's poison. You ever see that little sign on the back of the cereal box? It's part of this nutritious breakfast, and they got everything in there, right? They got the Fruity Pebbles, they got bacon and eggs, vitamins, broccoli, water, juice, just an avocado. If you add it all up, this is a good breakfast. Despite the Fruity Pebbles, brought to you by a major multinational corporation. Let's see here. Oh, some good news from Nigeria. Now, Nigeria, I'm told, is in Africa. And I'm also hearing very bad things about the way they treat Christians in Africa. Have you heard about this? Especially in Nigeria, Boko Haram. That's like some sort of select terror group over there. I think it's another word for ISIS, basically. And this is what it's like to be a Christian in Nigeria. Cut 10, please. Cut 10.
Terrifying moments at a church in central Nigeria. A pastor and his worshipers are in the middle of prayer when all of a sudden The sound of gunshots sends them running for cover. Seconds later, the gunmen are inside. Officials later say at least 2 people were killed and others were kidnapped.
Well, that was like mild compared to some of the other violence that's going on over there. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Christians slaughtered, heads chopped off, burned at the stake. So these are fanatical Muslim extremists. They hate Christians. You know what they call them? Cross worshipers, right? And they say it in a pejorative way. They've been slaughtering them, and it's been kind of unnoticed. I got to tell you, President Trump again on it. And I got to give credit where credit is due. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth taking the president's authorization and maximizing it and dispatching our military and our allies and all kinds of secret stuff probably to get these terrorists off the map. All right, here's Hegseth, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, sometimes called the Secretary of Defense by others, depends. Cut 11, please. Cut 11.
Over the last month, and there hasn't been much coverage of this, we killed ISIS #2 in Nigeria, who's most responsible for killing Christians and trying to target the U.S. homeland, and have since, because of the intel we gathered, killed hundreds of ISIS members who were targeting and killing Christians in Nigeria, creating a whole new opportunity there. So there's a lot of things we do that the media pays attention to, and a lot of things that the president empowers the department to do on behalf of the American people that he deserves great credit for.
So, good. That's good. That's what we want our military doing, and it doesn't get covered. And that's the way it rolls when you are a Republican administration. You don't get credit for anything. You get hassled about everything. And this is all about the 2026 midterms. It's a campaign. It's a plot. What you see is a bad news story, fake news story, a lot of fake news. The protests outside of the ICE facility in New Jersey, it's kind of a fake thing. They're not like a bunch of people who are upset and went out there. These are a bunch of people who were paid by, big, serious, conglomerates who want to take back the Congress in 2026. Remember our friend, not really a friend, but Robert Menendez, not the guy who killed his mother and father, not the Menendez boys, but the senator who's in jail right now. Senator Robert Menendez, gold bars, Bob. He did some awful things. That woman really kind of messed with his head, right? Jeez. How can you be so stupid, Bob? Oh, goodness. Free Mercedes for the domestic partner, whatever the hell she is. He's in prison right now. He's got I do feel bad for the son and daughter. Alicia is on MSNBC. I see her a lot. And the son, Robert, is a congressman. And he was out at that place the other day trying to cause trouble, right? Trying to cause trouble for the ICE. Cause trouble for the ICE guys doing their job. So somebody starts hassling him about his old man who's in jail. And Robert is rolling with it. He's rolling with it. And then he snaps. And I don't know exactly what happens next, but we're going to find out together. Okay, listen carefully. You can hear the guy in the background saying, "How's your dad? How's your father?" He's in jail. All right. And then he loses it. All right. Ready for that? Ready? Go ahead.
The cream is supposed to taste like the...
Oops. Yes, no?
All of this is problematic. All of this is what we have to think about when we overhaul our immigration system.
Hey, how's your dad?
No, I've been.
How's your dad, Congressman?
Have you been in the past 2 days?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
So the delay was on Sunday when I came here at 8 o'clock at night, and was not allowed in for over 18 hours.
Congressman, you helped kill Dianara Cortez. You helped kill her.
Do you believe pregnant women should be in there right now? Do you believe pregnant women? What? When they commit no crime?
You just have to sign a paper and they go home.
Anytime you want, you can go home. Anytime you want, you can go home.
How's your dad?
Fantastic. Fuck you.
Tell me more.
You know what? Hey, look at that. You believe in due process?
That's not the process for you.
You should believe in due process. You know it. You are a liar.
Citizens don't get as much process as the legal. Citizens don't get get as much process as illegal. Too wide for immigrants, you dumbass. They don't get as much process as illegal.
It's a lawmaker, everybody.
How's your dad, Congressman?
Whoa!
All right, can I get your last question?
Wow. A lot of I wish everybody shut off their cars so I could hear a little bit better. How's your dad there? Well, look, I hope they shook hands at the end. I really do. I hope they made up. But look, they both have valid points. Now you could say, well, what does the father have to do with it? I don't know. They share the same name. They're both in politics. The son would not have been a congressman had it not been for the old man. It's tough, but that's the way it goes in politics, all right? One other thing I wanted to talk about, Oreo cookies. Oreo is made by Nabisco. Quite frankly, it's not a very good cookie. It's totally overrated. I always thought that, like Oreos, oh, what a treat. It's like, no, it's very, very dry and uninspiring. And, of course, it comes from a great, big, gigantic factory. And what else about these guys? Oh, they went woke and weird a couple of years ago. So what was it? Oh, yeah. LGBTQ Oreo cookies. They went totally in on the old BLM, LGBT queer crap. And they actually had a queer Oreo cookie. And they had a commercial. It's the strangest thing in the world. It was about some kid who is coming out of the closet. And, tells his grandmother. And the grandmother is very accepting and warm. And the mother, though, isn't. And at the end of the damn commercial, they have milk and cookies, Oreo cookies, and they put the gay pride cream color stuff in the double fudge cookie, double stuff. And it's just like, this has nothing to do with cookies. Cookies are not straight. Cookies are not gay. Cookies are asexual. I don't care who the hell you are. All right, you can like the cookie. I mean, I don't really like the cookie, but that has nothing to do with anybody's orientation. I don't like Oreos. But whatever, it's not gay. Oreo cookies are not gay. They're not LGBTQ. They're not lesbian. They're not gay. They're not bisexual. They're not transgender. They're not queer. And for that matter, they're not even straight. It's just a damn cookie. And they basically ruined it. Anyway, there's some weirdo boy band, K-pop, this K-pop thing. And I kind of like this guy's style. So they have a new version of the Oreo, SBS. And it's the craziest damn thing. It's like, it's the favorite cookie of the boy band. And they wanted, as an homage to Korea, they made the cream brown in honor of something called the hotcake, which is like a special Korean breakfast that has nothing to do with Oreo. It's just weird. And then they have special little messages inside and kind of like a, what do you call it? Candy Jack. What was that thing called? Cracker Jack. Just stupid stuff. And this anchor in Texas had enough of it, right? They're supposed to do a commercial for the dumb cookie. And this guy is just keeping it real. His name is Epler. And they want to fire him now because he kept it real about this crazy boy band merging with the cookie. The boy band is now on the front package of the Oreo. You got that thing all handy, please? Go ahead.
The cream is supposed to taste like the South Korean treat called hotok, which is a brown sugar stuffed pancake that some of the band members say they ate as a kid. It does sound good, right? The cookie's wafer is BTS signature color, purple. The wafers are also engraved with one of 13 designs which spell out a message to fans when put together, and that is Death to America, which I think is really strange. No, it's not.
Why would you say that?
Things can really, someone just now tuned in, Jamie. Other design.
It's kind of funny. He's obviously kidding. That woman. Oh, why would you say that? I got a few of those from Rosanna over the years. Hey, everybody, look at what Greg just said. A Texas news anchor is under fire for making a bizarre joke in which he claimed that Oreos released in collaboration with South Korean boy band BTS spelled out Death to America. Fox 34 Lubbock, Texas anchor James Epler. Are they going to fire him from that sweet gig? and his co-anchors were chatting about the new limited edition cookie during a lighthearted segment Tuesday when the broadcast suddenly took a strange turn. And he made that joke, and it was a fair joke. The joke is, why is Oreo screwing around with SBS and crazy colors and hidden messages in their own stupid, dry as gravel cookie? Fix the cookie, and then let's talk about branding. Be right back.
Greg Kelly
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So these GLPs are great. You know, I've lost 20 pounds. However, there are some side effects. They're pretty nasty sometimes. You can it gives you some gastrointestinal issues from time to time. And I won't be specific, but they're there. Now, fortunately, they are not persistent. You know, I've been on this thing since April 11th, and now it's back. April 11th, and I had this. Let's see here. How many times? I've had it once, twice, 3 times I've had the side effects. 3 times. And this is about to be one of those times. Yeah, it's a very, very uncomfortable feeling. I'll be fine, I think. Yeah. Oh, boy. This is great news. Noted nutcake E. Jean Carroll is under federal investigation. Now, who is E. Jean Carroll? E. Jean Carroll is the woman who falsely accused President Trump of sexual assault, said that she was raped by President Trump in the mid-1990s, didn't know the date, didn't know the month, didn't know the year, sometime in the late fall, early winter, something along those lines. And just an utterly bizarre. And she is utterly bizarre. Now, it turns out that apparently they have her solid in some lies. Now, I have her solid in all kinds of crazy stuff. She said off air that should have had her dismissed, but she said in various depositions that she did not know anything about who was funding her case. You know, if you sue somebody, some lawyers will take a commission and they won't charge you anything, but not everybody will do it that way. And some lawyers need money. You know, these things are expensive and you got to pay for forensic analysis and discovery. And it's a very, very costly process. So she had funders. Some of the biggest billionaires in the world, including Reid Hoffman. Who's Reid Hoffman? He's a big tech guy, and he started LinkedIn. The LinkedIn thing. I still don't know anything about LinkedIn. I don't understand it. I don't know why it exists. I don't know. I never can work it. I don't know what the hell that is. I think from what I know about it, it's a place to publicly put your resume and keep it in touch with other people in the business. It seems to me that it's a signal to your employer that you're poachable. You know what I mean? That you're always looking. I don't know if that's wise, but here's a big chunk of the interview, all right, that she did with Anderson Cooper that should be a hell of a lot more famous than it is. And we'll take it to break, okay? We're going to take this to break, and I'll be back in a little bit after that to start again in the 1 o'clock hour, and I think my discomfort will have passed. All right, go ahead.
I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
We're going to take a quick break. If you can stick around, we'll talk more on the other side.
You're fascinating to talk to.
You've talked about using some of Trump's money you're about to get to help shore up women's rights. Do you know what that might be, what that might look like?
Yes, Rachel. Yes.
Tell me.
I had such such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod. Rachel, what do you want? Penthouse? It's yours, Nothing. Rachel. Penthouse and France? You want France? You want to go fishing in France?
We just walked out to the OJ's For the Love of Money, which is the theme song of The Apprentice, and that's connected to the fact that you know who has to pay. Money, 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 money.
No? Oh. All right, okay.
That's a joke.
Something like $83 million.
83.3.
Oh, I'm sorry. 83.3.
Although if me fishing in France could do something for women's rights, I would take the hit. You know, I would obviously.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Let's take a short break.
Think of the fantasies.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?